Hi, this is Todd Nessa from GodlyAmerica. We've been looking at the birth certificate issue. We've been looking at just bringing in a lot of different information. It's been on my heart to just bring a lot of information into one video. We've been looking at just the Photoshop issue and how the birth certificate was layered. We learned how just people that are very fluent with Photoshop were able to easily spot the forgery. And we've been taking a look at it step by step as a Photoshop expert has just went into it, opened up the file, began working with it, moving it around. We can see it's layered, that it wasn't a type font, that it was a layered, created Adobe document that we're watching. And just a minute ago, or previously on the last video, last few seconds of the last video, I was talking about, just in response to a statement that Alex Jones made, about the insanity of the elite. Really, are they insane, or really are they just so arrogant that they're proving that they can get away with it? They're showing that they believe that the populace that they control the minds of will believe them no matter what they say. And they can be as arrogant as they want and get away with it because the public is so mind controlled that they won't even look into it. And if they did look into it, they wouldn't want to believe it anyway. So let's go back and we'll follow this up, look a little bit more at the layering and some of the details of this birth certificate forgery.
Hero burning Rome for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the CIA admittedly can create fake videos, fake newscasts. They can shoot video of anybody they want, and then off just a few seconds of it, put it into a computer template, synthesize the voice,
right,
and make a perfect copy that top experts can't decipher. Why can't they make a fake?
Why wouldn't they do a better job?
Even if it's fake.
Yeah. I mean, who dropped the ball on this, or was it done on purpose?
There's no way you could drop the ball. This is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Looking at this, there's so many different.
We're being mocked by the elite. That's what this is.
What are some of the most important? I'm summing this up.
They're saying if you're stupid enough to believe this, you ought to lose your country.
That you can move around and manipulate, and that you can cut apart
Which is their plan.
document that they put out. That's, to me, the biggest red flag that I would throw out there, and it's pretty scary that they would throw this out thinking that nobody would take a look at it.
We're not sure what's going on here. We need
see
the audience
how it's layered.
on
We're just
other
showing
Photoshop experts, former government people that worked in document authentication. If the White House takes this down or flattens this document, the good news is so many hundreds, perhaps even thousands of sites have seen it, but they're going to have trouble denying it. We need your help out there. What do folks need to do? I mean, check it out for themselves.
Download the document. Try to break it apart. What do you see? Because we're probably not seeing everything. There's so much going on in this thing. We can't catch it.
Yeah, we're hurrying to get this out quick.
Exactly.
I mean, I was about to walk out of the office at like 6 o'clock, and you're like, hey,
yeah,
you want to look at this?
See this?
We did about an hour or more research. The other people looked at it who did the Photoshop. Look, it's incredible. This has clearly been edited and altered and manipulated in so many ways, and they put it out and make no statement about that. And the numbers they've added clearly aren't from the same typewriter, and it's a sophomoric forgery. No wonder he was laughing. You're right. It's a big joke.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can say is this morning he was laughing. He thought it was funny. So he obviously knows what's going on. And, all we can do is, call for an investigation.
It may not be a psyop. I mean, at the end of the day, they kept trying to ignore it. Governor Abercrombie said that when he was elected, he was going to go get the birth certificate. He went and told papers, I can't find it.
Right.
They put out this receipt of birth certificate and said, no, this is it. There's no other long form. This is what he got when he was born. And then now they changed that and said, oh, no, here is the long form.
Right.
So maybe they're just so lazy and arrogant that they saw the poll 2 days ago of 62%, not thinking he was born here in USA Today, and they panicked and just churned this crap out, and some lazy psyop person they used to do it left it in the layers.
A sample of government work is what you could say. I mean, it's the job half done.
Brainstorming here, we're starting to figure this out. I mean, look at none.
Yeah.
It's all light and gets darker on purpose.
And
then it's in the layers, folks. Do you get this? We're meant to find this. Dude, I want you to hurry. Get this out as fast as you can. And when you see this on YouTube and Infowars.com, folks, get it out to everybody. Because other people are going to take the bait of this psyop and go, look how fake it is. They're not going to add the other layer of, ridiculously fake. It's meant to get us all fighting with each other. It's meant to get people into a big debate about this.
Instead of the real
We're
issue.
starting to figure it out here talking. Dude, good job. Get it out fast.
All right.
And good
That's what you call the old divide and conquer routine, which we could throw in there as Trayvon Martin. Here's another significant video here. This came from Arizona CBS affiliate Channel 5, and they're actually reporting on Sheriff Arpaio and the cold case posse's investigation. Very significant video. Let's watch.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio says he suspects President Obama's birth certificate is a fake.
We believe probable cause exists indicating that forgery and fraud may have been committed.
Arpaio says his team of volunteer investigators believes President Obama's birth certificate is computer generated. They say they have a person of interest that may be involved in that hoax.
So what is next? CBS 5's Heather Moore has been trying to get the answer to that question all night. Heather, what did you come up with?
Well, Catherine and Cena, the sheriff says maybe Congress needs to take this on next. It all started up again when the Tea Party of Surprise asked Sheriff Joe Arpaio to investigate. He, in turn, asked his volunteer cold case posse to dig in. Now, we spoke with the head of that team this afternoon who refused to talk to us about that so-called person of interest. However, he did say this may be the biggest scandal perpetrated on the American people. One of the biggest scandals, rather, perpetrated on the American people.
Oh my God. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wants to think this is happening, in their country.
Lead investigator Michael Zullo claims the group didn't set out to take down the president.
Our goal in the beginning was to prove this document authentic. The problem is the evidence kept taking us somewhere else.
He says it took 6 months and 2,200 hours to come to the conclusion that President Obama's birth certificate from Hawaii, released by the White House last April, was manufactured.
It never was a paper document. It was literally created in the mind of a computer and resides on cyberspace.
The White House responded today by pointing to the president's comments last year regarding the same issue.
We're not going to be able to solve our problems if we get distracted by sideshows and carnival barkers.
This is your face, your reputation, your name in the front of this investigation. How comfortable are you making these allegations?
I'm very comfortable because we did seek the advice of experts regarding this. You can build the document. We could take the document apart out of the same file released by the White House. You can't do that if you just scan in a birth certificate or any other document.
What do you say to the naysayers? And there are a lot of critics out there saying this is all, a bunch of BS.
Prove it. We did. We proved our point. That document's created.
And from here, Sheriff Arpaio may look for a congressional investigation. We reached out to every member of Arizona's congressional delegation in Washington today. Only Representative Jeff Flake's office got back to us saying that he believes that President Barack Obama is a U.S. citizen and was born here in the United States. Reporting live in Phoenix, I'm Heather Moore, CBS 5 News.
Heather, thank you. So, how did they reach that conclusion? Here's more now from Investigator Zulu at today's press conference.
Mr. Obama's birth certificate, there are approximately 8 or 9 links and layers. Links and layers are indicative of a document being built.
The birth certificate was compared to a controlled document that investigators scanned into a computer. After close examination, Zulu said there were several inconsistencies between the two. One had to do with the so-called green safety paper. Investigators say it should be seen on the onset of the birth certificate, but they determined it was the last element applied to the document. Zulu also claims the register and date stamps can be moved around. He says if the document was authentic, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Whoever created this document imported that register stamp and that date stamp, laid it on a white background,
and then filled in the green safety paper around it.
Zulu tells us Obama's birth certificate failed every test they put it through. All 6 videos explaining the steps of the investigation were uploaded to YouTube by the user Tea Party Power Hour.
CBS 5 viewers are speaking their minds on this one. Penny wrote, "What the heck is going on with this state? We have a disrespectful governor and a sheriff."
All right, here. I guess this is a good case in point of someone who they're not wanting to search for the truth. It's more a matter of what you want, and the truth goes where it goes. You know, do we want to live in a world where the truth is made up, or do we want to live in a world where the truth is what it is, and that we pursue the truth as it is, the truth, not what somebody decides the truth is going to be? That is a dangerous road, and that's the road of George Orwell's 1984, where one day you're bombing Oceania, and the other day you're bombing, what is it, East Asia or whatever it was, and the people are flip-flopping every day. They're double-minded as you can get. They're so mind-controlled, and they have to be. And the government just tortures them day in and day out, changing their official story and forcing them to believe it. And if they don't, they take them and torture them and, pump all kinds of psychological drugs into them and brainwash them and, basically give them a lobotomy. That's the New World Order model found in 1984. Which I guess Orwell was a socialist also, and he believed that fighting this was futile. Well, I don't believe the fight for truth is ever futile, nor did our forefathers of this nation. They believed that the truth was worth fighting for, and so have many of the men and women throughout the decades who have died in freedom's fight. And I'll be the first one to say that not every war is a good one, and there's some wars that we're in basically at the behest of the globalists, whether it be guarding their poppy fields somewhere, or like in Vietnam, where the CIA was running drugs in and out of Vietnam. We have not always been in a position to fight for freedom, as we have become more and more under the control of globalist interests or the New World Order interests. However, for the men and women who died fighting Germans and eventually made it to the camps at Dachau and at Auschwitz and closed that down, let me tell you something. That liberation of those camps was paid for with the blood of these men, and we should all be eternally grateful. All right, so we have one last thing which I'll go over, and this is never ending. There's updates all the time. Do we have a legal constitutional president? Sheriff Joe says there are tons more shocking, more Obama info to come. America's Toughest Sheriff says that there's tons more potentially shocking information on Barack Obama in connection with the probe into the president's eligibility, and he calls the media suppression of his findings obviously forged presidential birth certificate, selective service card, probably the biggest censorship blackout in the history of the United States. How is that possible? Because the media is controlled by people that are part of the evil, part of the corporatocracy, a part of the New World Order system, a part of the plan, the New World Order plan, at one level or another. And he says, Sheriff Arpaio says, I'm not going after the president to keep him off the ballot or anything else, but that could happen. I'm going strictly as a law enforcement guy or officer investigating a possible forgery and fraud. I'm sticking with that, but I'll tell you one thing.